Hello, dear traders. Let's discuss how Wall Street closed the last trading week and what prospects are ahead. The US stock market was on a roller coaster on Friday. Wall Street extended a series of weekly declines, and today the pre-market is trading higher, giving hope for recovery in the stock market. The major stock indexes traded with a higher volatility on Friday. The S&P 500 sank 20% intraday for the first time since March 2020, but it rebounded shortly after on the same day. The Dow Jones edged up 0.1% on Friday. The Nasdaq slipped 0.3%, and the S&P 500 logged a 0.1% uptick to close at 3,901 points. Wall Street is trading with a cautious optimism in the New York pre-market. The key indexes are gaining 0.6 to 0.9%, and the information background sets the stage for another attempt of regaining losses. The S&P 500 is expected to trade in the corridor between 3,860 and 3,980 points today. Wall Street went through another bearish week. The S&P 500 lost 3% and the Dow Jones closed 2.9% down. The Nasdaq slumped 3.8%, so the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq had a seventh week of losses straight. It has never happened since the boom of dot-coms in 2001. The Dow Jones logged losses for 8 weeks in a row since 1932. Now the S&P is trading flat on the verge of the bear market, having lost 18.7%. A third of its companies have depreciated by more than 20%. Financial reports by large US retailers and the falling Tesla shares on Friday are to blame for the overall pessimism. Tesla securities plummeted 6.4% in light of the news on sexual harassment. SpaceX paid $250,000 to an air hostess to make her drop charges against Elon Musk for his misconduct in 2018. The Tesla CEO denied the charges, but it did not prevent a sell-off. Such accusation cost Elon Musk $10 billion of losses per day and dented the S&P 500. Joe Biden aroused some hope among investors as he wants to lower tariffs on Chinese goods. The economic calendar contains a slew of high-impact reports such as the U.S. durable goods orders, the second estimate of the U.S. GDP speeches by some Fed officials, and the minutes of the Fed policy meeting which are due on Wednesday. Traders are braced for another turbulent week ahead. Today the market is trading quietly. The US dollar is obviously overbought. Its index has surged almost 16% over the last 12 months. Technical indicators signal weakness of the US currency and suggest a flat movement in the area of 100 to 102 until the US dollar receives support from the Federal Reserve or escalating global risks. Nevertheless, the US dollar strength is eroded by the fact that other major central banks such as the ECB and the Bank of England come up with statements on aggressive monetary tightening. They consider drastic policy moves as countermeasures against the sky-high inflation. Besides, Europe is showing its resilience to energy shocks that improve business sentiment. China is likely to soften COVID restrictions. Such prospects also do not benefit the US currency as a safe haven asset. Without serious cases, the US dollar index is set to lose ground, but it will hardly decline below 100 points. The USD CAD pair is trading marginally lower. It's retreating from the level of 1.2790. Its corridor for today is defined between 1.2710 and 1.2840. The loonie is taking advantage of the US dollar's temporary weakness. The currency pair retreated to the levels of early March. The Canadian dollar could assert strength for a while until the US dollar is extending its correctional decline and unless the Fed minutes signal a sharper rate hike. Another point is that oil prices that fit the loonie strengths are rising today. Both WTI and Brent have appreciated from 1 to 1.15%, now trading at $111 and $113 a barrel respectively. And this is bullish for the Canadian dollar. Bitcoin is treading water at around $30,000. The negative sentiment was driven by a crash in the stablecoins. Traders seem to have digested the slump. Nevertheless, the outlook for digital assets is not rock-solid bullish. The crypto market is trying to strike a balance as current conditions are right for that. The opposite correlation with the US dollar index and the direct correlation with the stock market suggests that the flagship crypto could try to conquer a higher high of 33,000. Once it's reached, the price could shoot to 35,000. Despite the fact that technical indicators are entering the buy zone, traders have not regained the risk-on mood. Analysts say that Bitcoin will trade in the corridor between $29,600 and $31,400 today. That's how Wall Street is opening a new trading week. Moderation and cautious optimism could be the logo on Wall Street today. We warn you that optimism will hardly last for long. Trade at profit with the InstaForex and see you online tomorrow.